I always wish that I see more of these things, and then I was thinking like, girl, you never go outside. How are you supposed to see these things? Hey guys, it's Maxine. I have an idea for a video today where I'm going to talk about all of the UFO sightings that happen in Hawaii. Hawaii is very well known for its astronomy program. We have an excellent view of the night sky, if it weren't always so cloudy. Apparently, there's a lot of UFO activity in Hawaii, and I've actually seen two literal UFOs where it was an object, it was flying, and I couldn't identify what it was. I'm not saying that mine were aliens, but there's a lot of UFO sightings here. I was looking and I found this website where they have just so many of these stories, and it's called the National UFO Reporting Center, and it's the State Report Index for Hawaii. So this has all of the reported sightings that they have put up, and there's hundreds of reports, dozens at least. I'm just gonna read you some of them. I'm also going to link the website below so you can go read them on your own, or maybe find your own state. I'm not going to read all of the Hawaii ones because there's way too many. And then at the end of this, I'm going to share with you the ones that I personally saw the other day. Getting right into it, the first one was, this was September 23rd in Kapa'a. It was a disc-shaped UFO that lasted 9 minutes long, and it was just a saucer hovering above Lihue at 5 p.m. That's what the description is, but 9 minutes, that's a pretty long time. Saucer hovering above Lihue at 5 p.m. Hello everyone, around 5 p.m. I went out to a ranch that overlooked Lihue. I was just walking, looking at cows, and I turned around. Out of the blue, a round UFO-looking thing just came out of nowhere. It had red and yellowish lights, and it looked like it was hovering over Lihue. After a few moments, it started to descend into Lihue, and eventually it landed and disappeared, or the lights shut off. And they're asking if anyone else saw it, and they elected to remain anonymous, which makes me believe that this is a real account because they're not looking for any sort of fame from it. The next one is in Honolulu. The shape of the UFO was unknown, and the duration is about 3 minutes long. I woke up at 3 o'clock a.m. I went on my balcony to have a cigarette with my girlfriend. I was enjoying the half moon and the round glow around it. Then I noticed 2 red lights flashing, and every once in a while they would flash gold. One was following the other. Then the one behind went higher, and it seemed like they were beginning to descend. The angle was slightly diagonally, or they were super low flying and slow over the valley and towards the mountain. The event lasted 3 minutes or so before losing sight behind a building. I live in Honolulu, close to Makiki and Punch Bowl Cemetery. I got the chills when I saw this. Would love to know if anyone else saw this, and of course what it was. Thank you kindly. And this person also is unknown, I believe. This one happened in Waikola, a cigar-shaped UFO that lasted 30 minutes. And the summary is strange events and object in morning sky over Big Island. Driving across Saddle Road, approximately 4:45 with clear sky, I observed a meteor shooting star-like enter field of vision, then a large white flash. A few minutes later, another flash, but did not see a shooting star-type event. Approximately 30 minutes after daybreak, with no stars visible in any direction, there was one oblong light emitting shape high in the sky, 30 to 50 feet. Item was stationary, and light would pulse from one end to the other. Watched object until reached end of Waikola Road and turned west. Familiar with regular stars and planets visible in our skies, and this wasn't one of them. Ooh, this one lasted 60 minutes. In Kailua, the shape is just light. Lasted 60 minutes. Bright light morphed into 2 lights, morphed back into one, moved, then disappeared. It is an anonymous report. Sitting in a parking lot looking at the stars, we noticed a light incredibly brighter than any other star. After about 3 to 4 minutes, it broke off into 2 separate lights, one on top of the other. We then noticed a red light floating above the 2 other bright lights. After about 10 minutes, the red light disappeared. After about 5 minutes, the 2 bright lights morphed back into one. As we were about to leave, the light moved quickly to the side and stayed there. After about 10 minutes, the light disappeared. So that's very interesting. This one happened on Oahu in Waipio. It was a circle shape that lasted only 2 to 3 seconds. I was driving on Kamehameha Highway heading towards Honolulu. I witnessed a greenish-blue streak in the sky with greenish-blue sphere at the front. The sphere was about the size of a quarter when held up to the sky. Whoa, that's big. The direction it flew was from northeast to southwest. I have seen shooting stars and meteor shows before, but this object was neither. It was far too close and just an odd color. That's really big, a quarter. Even a penny held up to the sky is like huge. That's huge. That's really crazy. Even though it only lasted 2 to 3 seconds, that's either really huge or really close. That's so cool. This one was in Kaunakakai. It just ongoing is the time amount. Continuous flashing light in space. I'm seeing a strobing light high in the night sky. It is just up from the star Assassin. It looks like a star but flashes on and then off again, but I am sure it is not a star. A geosynchronous satellite, perhaps. The flash of light appears approximately every 10 seconds and is sometimes brighter and is sometimes very hard to see. It has remained stationary for at least 30 minutes. This one happened in Hilo, Hawaii, which is where I'm at. It was a teardrop shape, lasted 1 minute. It says fireball with tail moving sideways across the sky, then breaking into many pieces. So this one happened in September of 2015, so almost like over 2 years ago. Oh. Wait, okay. Okay, so this one was actually the re-entry of Cosmos 1315. That's cool though. It's cool that this UFO report center will take the reports and then debunk them. So I wonder if I reported one of mine. I'm not sure if it was a weather balloon. It might have been. I wonder if I could submit it, if they would do the research more in depth than I can for if there was a weather balloon released that day. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go into my own stories. I've always been a pretty firm believer in UFOs being a real thing, whether they are extraterrestrials or government things of some kind or whatever, but I do believe in aliens, so I'm not saying that's what these ones that I saw are, but they're very interesting. They were both in the same day, actually, and they looked nothing alike. I believe they had nothing to do with each other at all. First one, I was sitting here, and I just happened to look out my window. I believe it started up, and it was moving down this way. It started up and it was moving down this way. And it looked like it was, I would call it cigar-shaped or round, but with like rotating lights of some kind. It was rotating. This side were white and this side were dark. It was like doing like a rotate like that. And it was doing sort of like a dark white, and you could sort of, either that or it was maybe like a disc and there were lights like going around it flashing, or it was rotating somehow. It looked metallic-y, sort of gold even, I would say, and but I'm not sure how much of that is like sunlight or reflections. It might have just been silver with warm light on it. It was going like passing in front of the clouds, so like the cloud is here and it would pass in front and I could see it, but then the camera could just barely get it because it was doing white black. When it's over the blue you can see both, but when it's over the white you can only see it when it's black. And it was a pretty quick like white, black, white, black, white, black. It wasn't like slowly rotating. It was rotating pretty quickly, especially if it was a large object. That's a pretty quick rotation. And it was moving like across sort of this way, and then it would go, it would kind of do like stair-steppy stuff where it was changing directions, but it was it's such a minute change in direction that it could have been my eyes playing tricks on me. But then it kind of went up, so it kind of went like this, or at least like that, where it looks like it's going up or away maybe. I don't know. It went sort of in a away direction. It looked like it had completely changed direction, and then it went back on its course, still going this way. So overall it went this way, but it was sort of like a line graph where it sort of was doing things as it was going that way, which was very interesting. I just happened to look at the window and it happened to be there in a place that I saw. It was close enough for me to see it. If I had looked 30 seconds later, it would have been too far away for me to catch it with my eyes if I hadn't been watching it. No idea what that thing is. It's like rotating. Oh no, it's not rotating. Oh, you can barely see it. Oh, it's going in front of the... Interesting. Can you see it right now? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Kind of, you can kind of see it hopefully. What the hell is it? But the second one I saw, I had gone outside. When I have food garbage, I throw it away in the dumpster out back. And I was down there and I was walking and I noticed this little light. And it was very small, like a pinprick light. But it's the middle of the day, so what could that possibly be? Maybe a planet? But golly, that would have to be a bright dang planet. I later looked, I have like the star app free where you can like see where the constellations are using your phone, and there weren't any planets in that area of the sky. I saw it was like this pinprick white light, and I went out there and I was looking at it, and it wasn't really moving much, and it was moving but not much, and it was moving from the tree line up this way, so like the exact, like, one was going this way and the other one this way. It was going up and this way. And I was just watching it. I watched it for probably 5 minutes, and I was trying to figure out if it was moving anymore, because I couldn't quite tell if it was moving anymore. So I decided to lay down, because if I'm laying down, I'm not swaying around, clouds moving, making it look like it's moving. But I would not myself be moving. So I lay down so that my head was steady. And I had 2 points of reference. There's like the building and then like a light. So I could take my hand and it was this far from the light and this far from the building. So I could do that measurement and I would always know like if it was moving or not. And then I even actually used that to find it one time because I completely lost it. So I did this and sort of like went until there it is. But it did not move. I was laying in the grass for 10 minutes and it did not move. And I was taking videos of it. I was sending them to my mom, and as I was laying out there, one of my neighbors actually came out and he was like, "Oh hey, Maxine, how are you doing?" And I like hopped up and I was like, "Do you see that?" And it probably took me 5 minutes to get him to see it because it was such a pinprick little dot. It took me like 5 minutes and moving around and being like, okay, well if you stand here, it's like right in between these 2 things, or you know. And he eventually did see it, and we were talking about it, and that one could have been some weather balloons look. If the weather balloon looked like this, then it could have been that, because they're just like round and white. So it could have been a weather balloon where I only saw the balloon part. But I've been looking at the websites and there haven't been any updates on that. And I don't have any explanation for the other one. Oh, that was another thing. Both of the times that these 2 UFOs were there were probably half a dozen helicopters flew into the area they were in both times. So there was like 12 helicopters total. And yeah, helicopters sort of like circumnavigate the islands, but they don't come really that far inland, and there is an airport sort of over in that direction, I think, but it's not it's not usual to be that many helicopters within like a 5-10 minute span. quite a few interesting UFO stories from where I'm from, so if you want to see that sometime, please give this a thumbs up. I think I would have to have my parents help me with that, so mom and dad, if you're up for that. That is it. I'm gonna link this website below. Please go check it out. These are super interesting. I'll probably spend way too much time on this website reading all of the reports from Hawaii and back home and everything. We might have to do like a series. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these videos. I think UFOs are fun to talk about even if you don't quite believe in them. And subscribe if you would like to see more stuff.